Welcome on in back to the channel, my family. This is Spruce and Studs, and today we are going to be doing a review of some action figure line that we actually have not really delved into too much. Considering this channel focuses on Lego and Warhammer content, sorry that I really didn't get to this product lineup too soon, mainly because, I don't know, I guess we've been too overwhelmed by just JoyToy stuff and the large amounts of releases that have been coming out back to back. So we're definitely going to need to focus on the McFarlane line. And what are we going to be reviewing today? Well, you already know from the title. We're going to be reviewing two Sisters of Battle McFarlane action figures. So the first one we're going to take a look at over here is a sister from Our Martyred Lady. And obviously the second one is going to be from the Order of the Bloody Rose. Now, these figures are way cheaper, as you know, compared to the JoyToy line. Each of these figures cost about $20. You can get 3 McFarlane action figures for the price of one JoyToy one. So, I'm definitely going to be dialing back my comments, mainly because what the heck do you expect with a $20 action figure? I wouldn't say that there's really not much to expect. I think at the price point, there's going to be an expectation that the action figures aren't going to be like too crazy or too detailed. But you know what? Let's jump right on in and see what it's all about. All right, first of all, we're going to be reviewing the action figure of the Battle Sister from Our Martyred Lady. Let's get right into it. All right, in front of us, we have a typical loadout of a Battle Sister. You have the bolt gun on the right-hand side, the chainsword in the middle, and obviously the Battle Sister on the left-hand side. So let's take a look at the bolt gun. So straight off the bat, the bolt gun, just like with any kind of McFarlane figure, is fairly flat-looking. It's obviously a very dark silver monotone color, except for the bolter shells that are down here. But aside from that, there is really nothing to actually differentiate between the different areas of the bolt gun. Now, one of the things that I really like to see, and actually how I paint my miniatures, is that this area, this casing, is typically black, and then these outlying areas over here, where the sights are and where the, I guess the grip is down here, as well as the handle, I typically leave that silver. So at least it gives some differentiation from what you're looking at. So yeah, this is a bit flat looking in my opinion. You also have mold lines up here that, again, plague every single plastic toy company maker, including Games Workshop. So I would think that even the best can't get away from these mold lines. So moving on from there, we have the chainsword here. It's a fairly large chainsword, and again, it looks a little bit flat in my opinion, because most of the chainswords, like in this area, this is typically black, and then the teeth are going to be of a silver color like how it is right now, and then this part is also typically either black or silver. But again, in my opinion, this is a bit flat, and you kind of need some differentiation. But overall, again, these things don't really bother me, mainly because the price point of this action figure is so ridiculously low compared to JoyToy. There is a slight paint overspray over here, but nothing to be bothered about. So let's focus in on our Battle Sister over here and see what's up with her. So let's look at the helmet area. There is a little bit of bleed over here where the red of the lenses got onto the helmet. And then overall, when I'm looking at this action figure, it just, again, looks a little bit flat in my opinion, mainly because there's just no highlighting, no shading whatsoever. Looking at the pauldron area, there is some slight underspray here where you have the black peeking out from the white. You have the iconography, but I will have to say that everything is staying within the lines. Yeah, there's no bleed from like the gold to the silver, which is really good. I like how precise this action figure is when it comes to staying within the lines of each piece of the iconography, I suppose. Then you have the pouches over here. Again, staying within the painting lines, which is nice. And then also staying within the painting lines with the pouch over here. Again, you're going to hear me say this action figure looks a little bit flat. These grenades over here, frag or crack, I'm not sure which one is one or another. It would be nice if this was a different color, like a silver, because it would stand out a heck of a lot more than just this black over here. It looks like kind of like a blob from afar. And looking down here, yeah, there's some slight painting issues with the white onto the black, but like I said, this doesn't really bother me. This material here, the tabard, is very flexible compared to the rest of the action figure of itself. So let's look at the articulation of this action figure, and you're able to swing the arms back and forth over here without any sort of inhibition except from the pauldron. It limits its range. Then you're able to raise her arm like such, and then the elbow area, you're able to almost rotate 360, maybe like a 270 degree angle, and then you're able to flex this out. And then over here, you're able to have the sister grip her armaments to fell the enemies of the Emperor as usual. Let's take a look at the articulation of the legs and see how well it goes. And you're able to bend the knee back as you would normally and kick it out. Let's see how far you're able to pose this action figure out. Again, the range is limited by the pouches up here, as well as the items that are on her belt. And then I believe the range of motion is also limited over here. But at least you're going to be able to get a good amount of posability with this action figure. So let's have her wield her armaments. Let's have her bolt gun in her hand. And it is pretty easy to have her wield her armaments. As you can see, the bolt gun slipped right in. And then we're going to have her wield her chainsword. And there you go. Very cool, very simple action figure. I actually do like it a lot. All right, and here we have the sister from our Martyred lady completely reviewed. Let's jump into the action figure of the Order of the Bloody Rose. We have freed the sister from the Bloody Rose from her plastic bindings, and everything is similar to the first action figure. So that's the bolt gun. Let's look at the chainsword. Okay. All right, this actually does bother me a little bit, where you have this bending of the chainsword over here. I'm sure that if I dunk it into some hot water or something like that, maybe I'll be able to bend it back. All right, let's look at the sister up here. Looking at the lenses, you got some bleed from the green onto the white areas. You also get a lack of coverage and spray over here, so this silver should be a lot deeper silver because you can see the red peek out from underneath. So looking at this iconography, there is some bleed from the gold onto the silver, which is not really a big deal in my opinion. You have her pouches, and there are really no issues over here, which is nice. I like that. And I will say this again, this belt area is kind of flat looking. I think that it would be nice if there were just more differentiation. So the grenade areas, in my opinion, should be like a silver color to make it stand and pop out. This icon down here on the other battle sister was a gold color, and this is just a dull black. It would be nice if it pops out too. One thing I forgot to mention is this tabard. I really like the texture here. It is a very cool touch that McFarlane added, and you don't see a lot of texture like that with JoyToy at all. So this is pretty cool in my opinion. You get this textured plastic. It gives a lot of character to the action figure. I would like it if McFarlane actually colored this a little bit different to make these kneecaps stand out. On the sister of our Martyred lady, this is a white color, and that actually makes it pop out off the black. But as you can see, this is just a monochrome red color. Take a look at the articulation of the head. You're able to turn her head around 360 degrees. All right, and that's the review of the sister from the Order of the Bloody Rose. And let's move on to my final thoughts and wrap up. So, what do I think about these ladies? Well, My honest opinion is that they are really cool. I really like the Sisters of Battle. McFarlane did an excellent job of their translation of Warhammer's miniatures to action figure form. It is very accurate to the miniatures as well, and the details are very, very prominent on here. One of the things I'm going to say here is that these action figures look fairly flat in my opinion, especially the sister from the Order of the Bloody Rose. As I commented, it'd be nice to have some differentiation of color on the kneecaps. It'd be nice to have some differentiation here also with the grenades that should be a silver in my opinion. It's nice that this icon is a gold color while this one is just a black. It'd be nice if this also was a gold to match hers over here. There are very little bleed issues, which I am very happy about, and I believe that if you are bored enough, you can definitely make some painting adjustments with these action figures. So at the price point of $20 each, you definitely get your value's worth for your money. I mean, you get a fairly large action figure, you get very, very accurate action figure. The painting, again, is a little bit lacking and deficient in my opinion, but I think that's generally how McFarlane is doing their action figures from what I can see on pictures of their other action figures. So obviously there's no highlighting and there's no shading, but I think that if you wanted to do some aftermarket painting on these action figures, it would translate very well. So this is Brews and Studs, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Look forward to other reviews of other action figures that are going to be coming out later down the line, as well as preview videos of other action figures that are coming in the next months. And as usual, I'll see you all in the next one.